Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the incredible Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. What we talk about: stocks, cash, charts, limits, red, green, something you ain't never seen. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. You can join the group. 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 First things first, ACB, we all about it. That's a roller, that's a score. Ain't no other way around it. Grew the channel from a minor to a major. Yeah, we players in the damn game. Now they want to pay us. You want to advertise your stock, you can come and holler. We got members that are ready to drop all them dollars. Back it up, we can back it up. 20,000 subscribers, oh my God, you can add it up. Comment below, getting on the go. Sell it up high, we buy it down low. We brought you pivot, we the shits there. What's your decision? Either standing or you sitting. Making so many videos, I'm like, here we go. So many controls, damn, I'm like, adios. Staying positive, all the members are dope too. If you want to get big money, we can show you. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. What we talk about: stocks, cash, cards, limits, red, green, something you ain't never seen. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. You can join the group. 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 We in the second round. Look where I am. He told you what to get. Yeah, he told you what I am. Get you busy. Get you busy. They wonder about your kid like who is he? The market crazy. Manipulation. I'm finna get this money. It's all in determination. Good weed. Good weed. I roll it up. I smoke it up. I'm like, oh weed. Look back. Who you think brought you chemistry? Now it's up 100%. That's the recipe. That's the antidote. Damn, yeah, your antidote. Watch me dance. I'm a prance like an antelope. Zena. You know that we been blessed. I'm talking about the stock, not the warrior princess. Watch the big stocks rocking through the roof. And if you looking for winners, you can fucking join the group. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. What we talk about: stocks, cash, charts, limits, red, green, something you ain't never seen. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. You can join the group. 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 Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. What we talk about: stocks, cash, charts, limits, red, green, something you ain't never seen. Welcome to Rich TV. Welcome to Rich TV. You can join the group. 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 Let's hits and picks 24/7. It's true. Rich TV Live and Ill Kid.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing today? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and we are live looking at the markets. Now, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do a year in review to talk a little bit about some of the stocks that we've been watching, especially in the cannabis sector, because it's been a roller coaster to say the least. It's been a roller coaster ride to say the least. And a lot of people are jumping off and people are hitting the panic button. People are selling for a loss. People are just getting out of the sector completely. People are sitting on the sidelines, and then some people are buying. But I really want to kind of go over what has happened this year, because it's been a very interesting year for this sector. And there's a lot of good things that have happened. There's a lot of bad things that have happened. Let's talk about some of the bad things. So I would say the biggest scandal of 2019 has been CannTrust. CannTrust obviously got caught growing weed behind illegal walls that weren't licensed by Health Canada. They were secretly trying to grow behind Health Canada's back, and a whistleblower kind of blew up their situation, and they got caught. And it definitely put a black eye in the entire sector, because you went from a illegal industry that was becoming legal, and one of the biggest players, blue chip cannabis company, got caught growing illegal weed. That was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. And we really haven't recovered ever since that got announced. That is one of the reasons why I feel like 2019 has been a big consolidation year for the cannabis stocks. Another factor that I believe has caused the entire cannabis sector to go down for the last 7 months, the firing of Bruce Linton. We've got this company, Canopy Growth. It was a huge success story. We got the CEO that became a billionaire in a matter of 5 years. We got a company that's gone from $1 to a high of $70, got Constellation Brands to invest billions of dollars in them. They were the leader. They were the company that everybody was modeling themselves after. And then they made a deal with the devil. Bruce Linton got $4 billion from Constellation Brands and essentially sealed his fate for $4 billion, which most of us would have done, right? Most of us would have taken the $4 billion. So he takes the $4 billion and now he's out. He's out of the company. They got rid of him. I believe the date was June 3rd or July 3rd, somewhere around then. And ever since, Canopy Growth has gone from, I believe it was at $53 or $54 the day he was terminated. And today Canopy Growth is at $30. Clearly, in my opinion, a huge mistake, and it has hurt the entire cannabis sector. So there's two huge reasons, in my opinion, why the cannabis stocks have really been decimated so far in 2019. What else? Well, then there was Curaleaf. Curaleaf was going out there and putting medical remedies on their products, which had not been lab tested and had not been proven, saying that their products cured cancer and had all these amazing cures, which had yet to be tested, lab tested and proven. And they got a slap on their wrist by the FDA, and they've had to remove all of those products off the shelves. So there's been Curaleaf having issues with the FDA in America. We've had Constellation Brands firing their Canadian CEO, kicking him to the curb, despite the fact that he's done an amazing job with Canopy Growth. And we've had CannTrust losing their license, getting their license suspended by Health Canada because they were growing behind illegal walls and using seeds from the black market to grow their product. Those are just three major reasons why 2019, despite the fact that we had a huge explosion in January, February, and March, and we hit 52-week highs for the entire sector, despite the fact that we hit 52-week highs for the entire sector, for the last 7 months, we've hit 52-week lows, and we're maintaining these 52-week lows now because of these reasons, in my opinion. Now, what else could be the reason? Well, vaping. Thank you guys for your messages. Vaping. Now there's a war on vaping. There's a war on vaping causing deaths. There's a war on vaping making people sick. So that's not helping the sector. Now we got everybody talking, including President Donald Trump, talking about vaping being a negative, and that is another negative catalyst that is driving the market down. So what else could be the reason why cannabis stocks have now hit a 52-week low and have maintained this 52-week low and continue to keep going lower? What else? I believe, in my opinion, and I'm speaking to a lot of people in the industry and I'm talking to a lot of insiders, are telling me that these companies are failing because they're so focused on these huge facilities. They want to have these huge grow shows. But from what I'm hearing from people that are in the business, it's impossible to grow with these huge facilities. Most growers, and people have been growing for 100 years, most growers, and it's been going from generation to generation to generation, most growers do it in a small, contained environment. When you grow in these huge environments, 1 million square feet, everyone wants 1 million square feet, 2 million square feet, 100,000 square feet, everyone wants these huge environments to grow. You're going to have more issues with mold. You're going to have issues with crops that are going to have to get tossed out because there's infestations. You're going to have issues with bugs. You're going to have all kinds of issues growing this plant. It wasn't meant to grow in these enormous facilities. But yet all these giants want to grow and be the first to grow in all these huge facilities. And what we're finding is a whole bunch of companies burning money and no profits to speak of across the entire sector. This is a problem. Now here we are in Q3 going into Q4, and now we're into Q4 of 2019, and little by little companies are starting to show profits, which is good. Little by little companies are starting to show profits, which is good. Now, in my opinion, I've identified 8 companies which I believe are going to be the best. They include Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, Afria, MetaPharm Labs, Valens Growworks, Green Thumb, Curaleaf, and TrueLeaf. I believe that those are the 8 best and the 8 blessed companies in all of North America that, in my opinion, have enormous upside. Now, it's not to say that there isn't other companies out there that are going to be great. I think Chronos Group has a chance to be great. I think that Tilray has a chance to be great. I think C-Web has a chance to be great. I think Zenabis has a chance to be great. I think even companies like Tilt have a chance to be great. I think companies like MedMen have a chance to be great. But the reality is a lot of those companies, for whatever reason, are either overvalued or in some cases being decimated in the marketplace. So what I'm starting to really realize in this sector is there may be companies like Zenabis, for example, that have a potential to be a giant, but for whatever reason, they just suck when it comes to managing their stock. They absolutely suck. Tilt and, in my opinion, Zenabis need to be in that category. 2 companies that have enormous upside, huge potential, but the stocks absolutely suck. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful when you're investing in this sector because this sector is very volatile. There's a ton of risk involved, and these stocks can go up in an instant and they can go down in an instant. And the reality is there is so many companies right now, which is going to create more and more competition, which is going to drive the prices down for the public LPs. And what's happening is the market is being won right now in the flower game by the black market because their prices are lower and the LPs can't compete. And as the LPs have to start lowering their prices to compete, what's going to happen is their profits are going to get lower and lower and lower. And as their profits get lower and lower and lower because they have to lower their prices to compete with the black market, what's going to happen is we're going to have less and less companies that are making profit. And what's going to happen then is you're going to see the big boys start acquiring all the small companies because the small companies might have a good business, but the reality is they may not be profitable. And if they're not going to be profitable and they're not going to be able to figure out their stock and get a real market trading in the public sector, they're going to get acquired. They're going to be acquired. So now what I'm starting to realize 2.5, almost 3 years doing this, watching the markets every single day, is that we need to start watching the players that are going to get into edibles, and we need to watch the players that are getting into CBDs. Because with CBDs and edibles, there's not going to be that competition with the black market. The black market hasn't really entered into the CBD game because the CBD game is a relatively new game. The flower game is where the black market reigns supreme and has for generations, and I believe will continue to. And getting off the phone with a few people that were in the black market yesterday, they were literally laughing at the LPs. The black market is literally laughing at the LPs. What we're seeing here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where cannabis is a religion, essentially. Cannabis, this is the home of cannabis, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is the home of cannabis for Canada. They're getting stores shut down. The next day, they open up a new store. They get a store shut down. The next day, they open up a new store. They get a store shut down. The next day, they open up a new store. They get a store shut down. They just sell out of their house. At the end of the day, the black market, from what I've heard, is still 86% of the market in Canada. So in 1 year, and we're almost at the 1 year anniversary of legalization here in Canada, we've penetrated the market 14%, which is not bad. It's actually pretty good when you think about it. It's not as big as what I thought they would penetrate the market, but it's still something. It's 14%. Now, is that hurting the black market? Is the black market feeling a squeeze? I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think. Infinite Possibility says, I think the world still doesn't understand weed. RD says, black market is huge in edibles. I can post links, but I will not allow me to. So yeah, so it looks as though we're going to have a competition with the black market, also with edibles, but I see that changing because what's happening is a lot of that is most likely happening in storefronts. Storefronts one by one are being shut down all over North America. And you're going to start seeing people selling edibles out of their homes. I don't know. Maybe. But I foresee the black market mainly focused on flower. And I see the LPs really moving in the direction of trying to compete against the black market in the flower game. Obviously, having a huge stronghold in the CBD game, cannabis-infused beverages, and edibles, especially with edibles legalization happening here in a matter of a week. I believe that's where we're going to see huge growth, huge expansion, and huge revenue growth. Your guys has great edibles. Well, keep in mind that edibles legalization hasn't even happened yet. So once the legalization takes place, there will be a witch hunt for black market edibles. And there just isn't as many black market edibles as there is black market flower. So the reality is word travels fast, and I'm pretty sure that those guys won't last too long. But edibles legalization, from what I've heard, is going to generate 30 to 40% of the market for these licensed LPs. 30 to 40% is a huge piece of the pie. So if you can just imagine cannabis-infused beverages being a part of that as a whole new sector, we're talking cannabis-infused beverages, we're talking edibles, chocolates, gummies. Such a huge part of the market is about to get legalized, but it's not actually going to become fully legal as far as being able to do sales until mid-October. It's going to be legal, and then 60 days from there. So mid-December is when that will actually start to take form. It'll start to take shape. And in my opinion, not until really January, because mid-December, we're talking Christmas, holidays. So you're not going to see a huge amount of business then. I really feel like it's going to start in January. So January 2020 is when we're going to start seeing these companies start really rolling out their edibles, rolling out their cannabis-infused beverages, rolling out their gummies, rolling out their chocolates, all the different products that they plan to sell to the public. In my opinion, that's going to be a big, big catalyst for the sector. Reefer Al Joint says, I'm looking forward to the media publicity push on edibles legalization. We could use feel-good stories. The crazy part is there's a lot of good stories. The news just keeps rolling in and rolling in and rolling in. So in my opinion, the news isn't stopping and these companies' revenues are growing exponentially. There are a lot of feel-good stories, even though the market as a whole has been really getting hammered for the last 7 months. Izzy says, hi, Rich, do you think Tilray will buy out Zenabis in the future? The reason is that they are doing business with them already. The reason is it looks like Zenabis doesn't care about their shareholders. Well, Zenabis clearly isn't doing anything for their shareholders. Clearly. I'm disappointed in Zenabis. Zenabis has been one of the biggest failures of 2019 as far as the stock is concerned. As far as their business is concerned, I feel like the business is moving in the right direction, but the stock is telling a different story. So as far as the stock is concerned, I've started to believe that the Zenabis management team has lost control of the market and they clearly have no clue what they're doing. I'm not impressed. I'm actually disgusted. I'm disappointed. And as far as the stock is concerned, the underlying business is doing very well. They are growing. The business is moving as usual. The company is achieving all of their targets as far as the business is concerned. But as far as the stock is concerned, they've been nothing short of a nightmare. Nothing short of a nightmare. Zenabis, if you guys are watching, you guys have done nothing to build shareholder loyalty, nothing to build shareholder value, and nothing to build shareholder equity. I'm absolutely disgusted with what you have done with your stock. Absolutely disgusted. You regret investing into Zena? I think everybody must regret investing into Zena. I regret investing into Zena as well. I still believe in the business, the underlying business. I do not believe in the stock. The stock is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. I've always told you guys there's two businesses. There's the private business, and then there's the public side of the business. Zenabis has done a very good job with the private business. I'm very impressed with their private business. The stock, though, the public side, is nothing short of a disaster. What do I see in store for Zena? Man, I think Zena as a business will keep growing their revenues and continue to grow their business. As far as the stock, I've lost a lot of confidence in the stock. I just have no idea how low the stock can go at this point. It's been destroyed. They've got an insider that's dumping stock. I'm sure they have even other insiders that are dumping stock left, right, and center, because who else would be selling at prices lower than anyone's ever bought the stock? I know I'm not selling. I'm not selling for a loss. But clearly there's people selling and dumping stock without any regard for the investors. What price do I see for Zenabis? Who the hell knows at this point, man? Dale says, do you think the election is affecting cannabis stocks? I think everything at this point has an effect on the cannabis stocks. Apelli says, EMH has been a nightmare too, still holding here, only 1 cent down today. I call that victory. The Yo says, if black market buyers do not feel threatened from a legal standpoint, I think those long-term users will continue to use black market until the magnitude of black market supplier consequences are much more prevalent. But they're not doing anything to stop the black market. They're doing absolutely nothing to stop the black market. Yeah, they're shutting down stores, but people are just selling out of their homes. What are you guys doing to stop that? Absolutely nothing. S. Long says, VGW going to be reporting huge numbers on Tuesday. I love Valens Grow Works. I love extraction plays. Valens Grow Works and MediPharm Labs, my two biggest extraction players that I absolutely love, and I think they have enormous upside. Internet Thug TV says, MediPharm will triple your money. I love MediPharm Labs. Love the extraction space, and MediPharm has been a giant. Robert says, amazing seeing TGOD at these prices. I think TGOD's going to keep going lower because When is TGOD going to show some revenues? When? When is TGOD going to show some revenues? There's no end in sight for TGOD. If they don't show revenues, they're going to keep falling, and I will not be surprised to see TGOD go under $1. The Amazing Life of Dixie the Border Collie says FSDDF is in the green. Man, FSD Pharma has been a nightmare. When is FSD Pharma going to do something? I mean, there's so many companies that have made money off the backs of shareholders. And it's time for us to identify them and really separate the winners from the also-rans. And this is why I'm really going to start focusing now on the best, bring you guys only the best, and everybody else, I'll talk about them here and there, but I'm not really going to focus on them because I can't focus on companies like Zenabis that are going to continue to take investors' money. I can't. I won't. Infinite Possibility says the sector is definitely not dead. No, the sector is not dead. The sector is starting to separate the winners and the blessed from the rest. And everybody else that's part of the rest right now is in trouble. And once a stock goes under $1, all gloves are off at that point, man. Once a stock goes under $1, man, you're in trouble. That's all I can say. There are a few examples. We talked about it in our group chat today. Green Growth Brands came up after going under $1. Who else? People were talking about BAM came up after they went under $1. Even though I'm not a huge fan of BAM, they did go down under $1 and then come up. Bills did go under $1 and then explode up. Dan Balzerian's company. So there are some examples of companies that have gone under $1 and then come back. Not to say it won't happen, but more often than not, once you go under $1, you're in trouble. Look at that. Zenabis at 75 cents. Zenabis, if you guys are watching, you guys need to be ashamed of yourselves. Yeah, you're doing a good job taking care of your business, but what about your stock? You guys don't care about your stock. You clearly don't care about your shareholders. You don't care about building shareholder equity, building shareholder value. And if you're not going to do anything to build shareholder equity and shareholder value, investors are just going to keep dumping stock. They're going to keep selling out. The stock's going to keep bleeding down forever, and no one's ever going to make money on your stock. To me, that's a nightmare. Reefer Al Joint says Labs went under $1 and came back too. Yeah, so I mean, there are some examples that have come under $1 and then come back. However, once you get under $1, it's really difficult to come back. Look at InMed Pharmaceuticals. Look at what happened to Hip. Look at what happened to Tilt. Look at what happened to Oxley. Look what happened to Vivo. I could give you a long list, man. I could give you Harvest One. I could give you a long list of companies that I've been watching for the last 2.5 years that have come under $1 and never come back. Well, I'm definitely not going to be selling Zenabis for a loss. I'm going to wait until Zenabis hits the bottom and I'm going to buy more. That's the only way I trade. I'm just disgusted that they're not doing anything to actually bring the stock up. Literally disgusted that the stock goes down every single day and they do absolutely nothing, including having shareholders email them, and the response to shareholders is, we can't do anything to help the market. All we can do is just keep building our underlying business. No, you're a public company. You can do a lot to help your public market. And if you don't know how to do something to help your public market, you shouldn't be public. You should have stayed private. That's a fact. I think Kronos Group is doing all right because they have $1 billion partner. But as far as Kronos Group making money, they don't make any money. They make some money, but not enough to justify their share price, in my opinion. I think Sproutly has a chance to be good, but like a lot of these companies, man, once you get under $1 and you start getting beat down, it's very difficult to come back up. And Sproutly had its run up to $1. It did really, really well. And then they lost momentum and they've never recovered. Am I worried? I mean, when you have an investment in Zenabis and it just keeps going down, you can't feel good about it. I like to win. As an investor, I like to win. And I try to win in everything I do. So when I have an investment like a Zenabis and it goes down every day and they're doing absolutely nothing to bring that stock up, yeah, of course I'm worried. I'm worried about Zenabis. I'm worried about the shareholders. I'm worried about people that are losing money. Of course I'm worried. Do I think I'll be able to get out of that trade? Yeah, I think I'll be able to make money on Zenabis, but I've been watching it go down and I'm waiting on the sidelines to buy more. And I really have no reason to buy more because it keeps going lower. So people keep asking me when you're going to buy more. And I'm like, when I see a reason to buy more. They don't show me any reason to buy that stock. And if you're the public company and you're not giving anyone any reason to buy your stock, why would anyone buy your stock? That is a concern to me. I like Agroflora. It's another one of the stocks that I own. I think Agroflora has a great future, and they're doing a lot to try to get that stock up. They're putting out news every day, but the reality is they're just too diluted. And another stock under $1 that's in that 20-cent range that is just having trouble getting out of that area. And once you get under $1, the market makers own you. And at that point, it's very difficult to come back up. The Amazing Life of Dixie the Border Collie says, I have lost 68.37% on Zenabis. And that's not on me. That's on the company. The company needs to do a better job of protecting their shareholders and actually creating shareholder value and building shareholder loyalty and building shareholder equity. And the fact remains, they're not doing it. As a business, I think Zenabis has a chance to be a giant. Maybe they should go back to being private. But as a public company, the stock has been nothing short of a nightmare. As we speak, it keeps going lower. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not really concerned about the price. I'm concerned about other people that are watching it go down every single day. And you're definitely not going to hear me tell anyone to buy that stock at this point because it has been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. How low is it going to go? I have no idea. Why would anybody be selling that stock? That's my question. How can you sell a stock that you bought at a higher price? Who's selling these shares? Investors got in, $25 million worth of investors got in at $2.25 a few months ago. The stock is now at 73 cents. Those investors are down 66%. Zena, wake up. When are you guys going to do something to turn the ship around? Because clearly you don't care. Okay, guys, we're live. Thanks to YouTube, the greatest streaming platform in the universe. 92 people watching, only 30 likes? 30 likes? Come on, man. We're live. We're interactive. We're taking your questions and answers. We're doing a year in review right now. It's been a crazy year. There's been high highs and low lows. I made a ton of money this year, okay? But I'm disgusted with some of these stocks right now. Tilt has been nothing short of disgusting. Zenabis has been nothing short of disgusting. There are examples of companies that have been absolutely disgusting. Aleafia Health has been nothing short of disgusting. MedMen has been nothing short of disgusting. All of these stocks have been crushed in 2019. Are these buying opportunities? Or are these companies that we should avoid altogether? Now, I've made a list of companies that I'm really excited about. Aurora Cannabis, Afria, Canopy Growth, Valens Growworks, MetaPharm Labs, Curaleaf, Trulieve, and Green Thumb. To me, that is the great 8. Those are the 8 that I'm going to be focused on accumulating, moving forward, and into 2020. All my other positions, I'm just going to hold. Eventually, I will find a bottom. When I find that bottom on Zenabis and some of the other positions I have that might be down right now, I'm going to load up and I'm going to lower my cost and wait for that resurrection. But it's just disgusting watching some of these go down. Sherry says, US won't get behind MJ unless MJ goes completely legal. How you doing, Sherry? Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, how can they? The Yosh says, Zena has been trying to hire a lot of positions in my area recently, Nova Scotia, from management to QA, QC, to production to techs. One could take that as bad operational gaps or business growth, unsure. I think the business is growing. I'm not worried about their business. I'm worried about the stock. I'm worried about the stock, and I'm worried about what they're doing to protect shareholders and what they're doing to protect shareholder value and what they're doing to protect shareholder sentiment, because we've got many shareholders that have literally emailed the company, including myself. And the response they get is, the company's doing all the right things, the company's growing, the company's moving in the right direction, but we can't control the stock. But we're determined and we're dedicated to building shareholder value and building shareholder equity. Just not right now. Ryan Tibbs says, Rich, hear me out. Crypto boom and MJ boom, same thing. Only the real players will get resurrected, just like the top 15 cryptos. Best, the rest of the 2,000 cryptos do nothing. I agree with you. I agree with you. Infinite Possibility says, do you know the record of how long someone held a stock for? I'm sure that it's years and years and years. Peter Morley says, anyone looking at Afria going into earnings? I think Afria right now is a great buy. I think the upside is tremendous. And I believe that there are quite a few stocks that are going to double. And I believe that Afria is one of them. And if you look at the great 8 that I just listed, I believe all 8 of those stocks will double. And I've really focused on the last few years at getting really good at finding the best. And I think in the past, I tried to find too many home runs. Zenabis definitely is one that I think is a home run, but it's going to take some time. Zenabis is another one I've invested in that I think has a chance to be a home run, but it's going to clearly take some time. Rivers is another one that I've invested in that I think is a home run, but is going to take some time. Agriflora is another one that I've invested in that I think is a home run. It's going to take some time. I think some of those are going to take some time. So I will continue to buy more of those stocks as they go down at the lowest prices. Before I see them resurrect, I will buy more to lower my costs and position myself in those companies. But moving forward, looking at companies that I actually don't have to wait as long for, that I think are actually more of a finished product, that I think actually have a chance to be huge in 2020, Balance Growworks, MetaPharm Labs, Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, Afria, Curaleaf, Trulieve, Green Thumb. I think those 8, all of them have revenue. All of them, I believe, are either profitable or will be profitable and are going to show quarterly revenue growth and profitability quarter over quarter. And those are the 8 that I really want to position myself with in 2020. As for everything else, I'll find a way to get through it. I'll lower my cost. I'll be patient. But I'm not putting another dime in anything until I see them start to turn around. I will not put another dime into Zenabis. I will not put another dime into Zenabis. I will not put another dime into Rivers. I will not put another dime into Agriflora. I will not put another dime into any of those stocks until I actually see the stock itself turn around. Because why would I buy it if it just keeps going lower? Why would I do that? I want to see it hit a bottom. I want to see it start coming back. I want to see it start building some momentum before I put another penny into any of those positions, because they've clearly been under a lot of selling pressure. They've clearly been under a lot of selling pressure. I actually own Hexo, and I like Hexo a lot. Hexo is one of the companies that I bought in June that actually hasn't dropped as much as a lot of the others. It's been holding its price better than most. Yeah, TGOD is taking a severe beating because TGOD put out a news release, and I don't understand the news release. Like, some of these guys, I just wonder, like, if they even know what they're talking about. TGOD put out a news release today saying that they have, I think it was 50 million in the bank, but they're looking for funding to complete their facility. And they've had troubles arranging financing to complete their facility. So not only do you have no product that you're selling, not only do you have no revenue, now you guys are having problems raising money to complete your facility. No wonder Aurora Cannabis dumped all your stock. TGOD has been nothing short of a nightmare. TGOD is a nightmare. Now, Zenabis, on the other hand, they're actually growing their facilities. They've got all the money they need to grow, and they're generating revenue and selling product. But yet the stock keeps going down every day. Look at DRVD. You keep asking me to look at DRVD. Let's take a look at DRVD. Driven deliveries. Okay, I see driven deliveries at 86 cents, up 8%, and 4,000 shares traded today. That's what you're so excited about? Wow. So DRVD is up 10,800% since December of last year. Jeez. That is crazy. Up 53% in the last 3 months. Been as high of $5.85 in February? What the hell? That's crazy. Driven Deliveries Inc., DRVD. It's an interesting one. I'm going to have to add it to my watch list. Let me add it to my watch list. Yeah, I love labs, man. I love labs. So much potential with labs. It's not a time to panic. It's a time to really think about what we're doing right now as investors.
You know what it is? Rich TV Live. Ill Kid. Cloud Ninja on the beat. Dope, get it? Don't panic, you rookies that don't manage. You looking at all the candles, it's a ride and we off the handles. It's the heat, cause we bringing all the kitchens out. Oven mitts for little kids, what you bitching about? Pockets when they chingling, money stay mingling. I'm just getting started, yeah, I'm trying to get the swing of things. You love the green, but you hate the red. It's like you love the sex, but you hate the head. There's no difference, I finish all of your dinners. That mean I'm taking your place, it's no mistake that you are beginners. You mince meat, rinse and repeat. It's
I'm writing down all your picks, guys.
I'm the one, Jet Li. It's time that we get popping out. I ain't never stopping now. You would think I'm floating in the open way I cop a cloud. You should even shop around. You should buy a pair of boots. Hater, this my stomping ground. This is how the market goes. It's round and round we go. Where it stops, we just don't know. Don't panic, don't panic. Why you spend up all your dough? Just sit back and watch the show. Pray that you'll just strike some gold. Don't panic, don't panic. Market makers are heartbreakers, are soft stages. Bring the heat with Kenny just like it's Las Vegas. You hard haters are all fakers. I mob like, don't call you on another song. I don't pause, baby. I don't panic, I just mix it up like Shaka Khan. You stay tripping on his eyes like a soccer mom. And when it's on, I transform like Decepticon. I can tell your whole future looking at the devil's palm. You're too weak, bro, cause you looking at a 52-week low. These are opportunities to seize, yo. No peace, though. I don't cheat. I just move when I cruise to the G code. Put the limit in. Stop it if you have to. This is mathematics for addicts to latch to. Rich TV Live, he a swell guy. He'll teach you how to buy low and to sell high. Yeah, I get money cause it's all sweet. You looking at the real wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I get money cause it's all sweet. Yeah, you looking at the real wolf of Wall Street. This is how the market goes. It's round and round we go. Where it stops, we just don't know. Don't panic, don't panic. Why you spend up all your dough? Just sit back and watch the show. Pray that you'll just strike some gold. Don't panic, don't panic. Something has to be done about this. Mr. Attorney, this is what I pay you for. What can I do? Litigation it is. Get the wheels. Okay. Quickly. ASAP. Quick.
So we are still green in Canada, but cannabis growth is down slightly at $30.15. Aurora Cannabis is down slightly. Chronos Group is up 1% at $11.49. Tilray keeps going down at $23.72. Aphria at $7.09, up slightly. Hexo at $4.91, up 1%. Organogram is down 2%. Organogram at $4.15 is such a buy. Oxley Cannabis Group at 76 cents, down 1%. Another one of those companies that can't seem to get over $1. The Green Organic Dutchman is down 17.92% at $1.42. They're getting crushed. I have no idea what that press release they put out is. I really wonder if these guys even know what they're doing at times. Supreme Cannabis Company, $1.08 dirt cheap price for Supreme. Great company once again that just can't do anything with their stock. Up slightly. Valens Growworks at $3.08 in the green slightly. Canopy Rivers at $1.99, up 1%. TerraSend down 3%. Alipia Health at 85 cents, up 1%. The Flower Corporation at $2.21, down slightly. Agriflora at 26 cents, up 13%. Emerald Health Therapeutics down slightly. WeedMD up slightly. And Namaste down slightly. That's the Canadian markets. Let's take a look at the U.S. markets. Isodiol is actually up 19% today. Believe up 16% today. Heritage Cannabis up 6%. Saniva up 5%. Delta 9 Cannabis up 5%. Choom up 3%. Vivo up 3.6%. Vivo at 25 cents. Like, what a nightmare they've been. THC, Biomed International, another one that was over $1 at 14 cents now. Just disgusting. Up 3.5%. And Lift & Co. up 3%. So a lot of these stocks were over $1. Now they're under $1 and they just keep going down. Unbelievable how low some of these have gone. Let's take a look at what's going on in America today. We're slightly red in America. Let's look at the gainers. Vitality Biopharma up 36%. VBIO, Earth Science Tech Inc. up 7.8%. MCOA is up 6%. CBD Unlimited Inc. up 3%. Green Growth Brands up 3%. Body and Mind Inc. up 2.8%. Medical Marijuana Inc. up 2.4%. CWeb up 2%. M Jardine up 1.7%. CV Sciences up 1.46%. GW Pharmaceuticals down 1.5%. Cureleaf Holdings down 3%. Green Thumb down slightly. Harvest Health and Recreation down slightly. Cresco Labs down slightly. Acreage down slightly. True Leaf Cannabis is slightly green. Canna Royalty down slightly. Green Growth Brands up, like I said, 3%. Planet 13 Holdings up slightly. MedMan down 4%. Ianthus is even. CV Sciences up 1.46%. Alexinol Global down 1%. MaryMed down 1%. Kushco Holdings up slightly. Grow Generation Corp down 1%. Liberty Health Sciences down 5%. So those are the players today. And that's how they're performing. Mark Pepper says the entire market isn't doing that great lately. Let's take a look at Market Watch and let's see at what the market sentiment looks like today. Market's strong today. The Dow Jones is up 196 points. S&P 500 is up 26 points. NASDAQ is up 83 points. Gold is up 5.6 points. Oil is up 0.65 points. The global Dow is down 21 points. So markets are green. Markets are pretty strong overall. Markets are pretty strong overall. Facebook is at $179.71, up 1%. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon is at $1,729, up 1.37% or $23.45 today. Let's take a look at Netflix. Wow, Netflix is 100% sell on bar chart, top 1% of all short-term signal directions at $267, down 1.2%. Let's take a look at Neo. They've been bouncing back the last few days after getting destroyed. Neo is 100% sell on bar chart, and they're at $1.62, down $1.61, down 5%. Let's take a look at their American counterpart, Tesla. Tesla is actually a 24% buy on bar chart, and Tesla at $246, up 2.67%. So there's some of the major players in the markets. BRKA is a great buy. One of your stocks has 57,000 shares in volume, but no bid or ask. What's up with that? That's messed up, man. That's some messed up stuff. Luke says CSE Vapin October 11th. Yeah, I'll be watching that VAPN. Crazy time for companies to do IPOs, but yeah, I think the markets, honestly, the markets have been at all-time highs. I think this year's been a strong year for the stock market. It's been all-time highs. TSX recently hit all-time highs. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, they all hit all-time highs. So the markets have been pretty strong overall, and they've maintained strength. The cannabis sector, on the other hand, has really consolidated. In my opinion, another reason why is that cannabis growth and Tilray were way too high, and they needed to consolidate to more reasonable levels based on real earnings, which these companies have little to no earnings, and based on real profits. And what's happening now is the street is consolidating these stocks based on the fact that they want to see them trade based on real fundamentals, which I think as an investor is a good thing. Terry says S&P 500 all-time highs, MJ all-time lows. That shows that the stock market overall is still strong, but the MJ sector is definitely been bruised and battered. Quentin Simmons says DRVD is the Uber for cannabis. That's interesting. I need to look into them more. Thank you for the pick. I'll definitely look into them. MPXOF did well. There are going to always be examples of companies that do well, but overall, the sector is down tremendously in both Canada and the United States. And the resurrection, when it comes, will be epic. The question is, where is the bottom? The $1 million question right now is, where is the bottom? And will we be able to find it? And what exactly is it? Sonny Robinson says, wait till the end of November. Hey, man, we've been waiting for 7 months. What's another month at this point? I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. At this point, it's just another month. I just think that certain companies need to do a better job of protecting their shareholders. Mitchell Lucas says, do you think the government will do anything about the illegal market, like putting pressure on IPs to remove illegal cannabis sites from the web? Man, that's harder than you think. That's actually a lot harder than you think. Danny Hernandez says, what's going on with TGOD down 20%? Well, let's read it. Let's go through it. I'll tell you guys what's wrong with TGOD. Let's get into TGOD. Since the news is literally circulating everywhere and everybody wants to know, let's break it down. TGOD's been another one of the huge disappointments in 2019. Lots of selling. My goodness. 6 million shares in volume and just selling? Jeez. Okay. This is their title. The Green Organic Dutchman provides update on credit facility. I wonder who writes these PRs, man. Really wonder who writes these PRs. I'm going to read this whole thing. The Green Organic Dutchman provides update on credit financing. The Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited, TGOD in Canada, TGODF in America, a leading producer of premium certified organic cannabis, announces that it is reviewing financing alternatives in order to complete construction at its facilities in Ancaster, Ontario, and Phase 1A at Valleyfield, Quebec. Financing alternatives? You mean you don't have financing for your facility that we've all been waiting for? Like, what the hell? As previously disclosed, the company has been engaged in discussions for ordinary course commercial bank facilities and equipment leasing. However, due to changing market conditions, those sources of financing have been unavailable on acceptable terms within the timeframes required, leading the company to commence a review of additional alternatives. That's a red flag. The company currently has no debt, which is great, and $56.7 million in cash available in Canada including $40.2 million in restricted cash allocated to Tinctures. That's about $100 million. So this should be okay for a while, you would think. Construction at Ancaster is largely complete, with all grow rooms licensed by Health Canada and approximately 6 weeks left before substantial completion of the processing facility. So you'd think you'd need to get something in place. Why would you put this press release out? Why would you put this press release out? Are you putting this press release out fishing for financing? Is that what this is? Because I can't see why you put out this press release. This is one of the worst timed press releases I've ever seen. I'm losing all confidence in management in this company. They clearly have no clue what they're doing. Why would you put out this press release? This press release is... I'm just going to hold my tongue. The evidence package for this final component is expected to be submitted to Health Canada by the end of November for licensing. So you're getting a license. You're almost ready, but you don't have funding? And you're letting us know now? 6 weeks before completion? Really? This reminds me of what Zenabis put out as a press release, saying that they weren't going to be able to complete their construction of their facility on time in California. They needed to raise more money. They were going to be late, and the stock cratered and went down like 50%. TGOD is now down 20% today. Great job. That management, great work, management. You guys are A+. Like, what is wrong with these people? The company will prioritize any financing secured to accelerate commercial production in order to ramp up revenues. That sounds like desperation. The company will prioritize any financing secured to accelerate commercial production in order to ramp up revenues. Does that sound desperate to you guys? Sounds desperate to me. TGOD already has supply agreements in place with Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario, and plans to distribute nationally as production increases in 2020. So that's good news. I mean, they're around the corner, but do you even have funding to get you there? TGOD. Portfolio development is underway for Cannabis 2.0, with first phase of product launches scheduled for December 2019. That's positive. That's positive. Including organic teas and infusers. I like that. Not the first part, but I like that. The company may revise the construction schedule for its Ancaster and Valleyfield projects if it is unable to obtain sufficient financing on reasonable terms. Oh my goodness. Within the required time frame. Oh my gosh. There can be no assurance that this review will result in the completion of any financing transaction. Oh my goodness. Ancaster highlights. Purpose-built facility designed specifically for premium organic cannabis cultivation and processing. All grow rooms complete and licensed by Health Canada, with total annual production capacity for the site at 17,500 kgs. First harvest from greenhouse scheduled for Q4 2019. Looks like they're going to have to push that back. Existing Health Canada license for cultivation, sales, oil extraction, and oil sales renewed until 2022. EU GMP certification underway to enable exports to Europe. Large-scale organic cultivation combined with premium pricing expected to generate strong margins. Constructed to leadership in energy and environmental design, LEED standards certification expected upon completion. Valleyfield highlights. World's largest organic cannabis facility at 1,310,000 square feet, once completed, designed specifically for premium organic cannabis cultivation. Phased approach with planned annual production capacity for Phase 1A of 65,000 kgs, first harvest scheduled by end of Q1 2020. Total planned capacity of 185,000 kgs once all phases are completed. Access to North America's lowest power rates combined with automation will enable low-cost production. Large-scale cultivation of premium organic cannabis expected to generate industry-leading margins. Constructed to leadership in energy and environmental design, LEED standards, certification expected upon completion. About the Green Organic Dutchman, TGOD, TGOD in Canada on the TSX, TGODF on the US OTC. The Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited is a publicly traded premium global organic cannabis company with operations focused on medical cannabis markets in Canada, Europe, the Caribbean, and Latin America, as well as the Canadian adult use market. TGOD also has organic hemp CBD oil operations in Canada, and through its wholly owned subsidiary, Hemp Poland, distributes premium hemp CBD oil in the EU. The company grows high-quality, certified organic cannabis. It does? When has it grown anything? With sustainable, all-natural principles. TGOD's products are laboratory tested to ensure patients have access to a standardized, safe, and consistent product. TGOD has a planned capacity of 219,000 kgs and is building 1.6 million, 43,000 square feet of cultivation and processing facilities across Canada, Denmark, and Jamaica. TGOD's common shares and warrants issued under the indenture dated November 1st, 2017, trade on the TSX under the symbol TGOD and TGOD.WT, which is the warrants, respectively. That's the news on TGOD. Man, TGOD is struggling. TGOD is struggling. Yeah, there's definitely no such thing as getting rich quick, but at the end of the day, these companies need to do something about their shareholders. Mitchell Lucas says they just changed their name to T-Dog. That's a good one. Mark Pepper says, look at Supreme Cannabis. Their stock price should be much higher. Supreme Cannabis is another company who has never been able to do anything with their stock. Great business, lots of revenue growth, terrible stock. Terrible, terrible stock. Even with a new CEO, they've been absolutely unable to do anything with the stock. Dan says, keep averaging down with Zenabis. Is there bad news on the inside we don't know about? I have no idea. I just know that the stock sucks. The stock absolutely sucks. It's been nothing short of a nightmare, and it just keeps going lower. Sonny Robinson says, what about TerraTech? That's another one of those companies that, just with so many companies in the sector, I think the key right now is to really be careful with where you put your money. And don't put your money in a company that's going down every day. Invest in the best. The best is blessed. I gave you guys 8 companies that I really, really like. And I'm going to write them down for myself too, because these are the ones that I really want to accumulate. I have to remind myself. Aurora Cannabis, Afria, Canopy Growth, Metafarm Labs, Valens Growworks, TrueLeaf, Curaleaf, GTII. Those 8 have maintained reasonable prices through the collapse in the cannabis sector. And I believe that those 8 have a chance, all of them, to double in 2020. Yeah, I was reading some of the news on Agriflora. It looks really good, and Agriflora is having a nice day today. Yeah, Zenabis has been one of the worst buys I've had too. It's been a huge disappointment, and I'm very, very disgusted with them. Very disgusted with Zenabis. Kind of wish I never bought them. Kind of wish I never talked about them. Kind of wish I never even introduced them to our community. They've been nothing short of a disaster. Yeah, the company itself keeps growing. The revenues keep growing, but the stock itself sucks. It just sucks. Peter Morley says Cura has a huge share unlocked soon. Wait to accumulate. Yeah, if you know that a stock is going to be getting diluted, definitely wait for them to dilute the stock and wait for it to hit the bottom before you buy. Sonny Robinson says TerraTech invests $20 million back into the company. Yeah, and that's a good sign. It shows me that these guys pulled a lot of money out and they now want to put some money back in. Nicholas says Cannabo odorless cannabis should be big new thing. What do you think? Yeah, I think odorless cannabis has a chance to be big. Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of different types of ancillary type companies that are going to be big and they're going to be a part of this sector. Sector is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to have ups and downs. It's going to continue to be volatile and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. But I think if you really truly want to make money in this sector, you need to invest in the best because otherwise you're going to get hurt. And I think we've seen that in 2019. A lot of these stocks have hurt investors and you need to come up with a really good plan if you want to invest in cannabis stocks because 2019 has been a year where shareholders have lost money all over the place that are long-term investors or even day traders. So you need to be very careful. I think everyone needs to be very careful. The sector is very volatile. We've clearly seen companies like CannTrust do illegal transactions. We've seen companies like Curaleaf put out news and put out products that are not lab tested, saying that they're doing things for people that they can't prove. So there's been a huge rush for everyone to come into this market. And I think that that's forced some companies to try to run before they could walk. And a lot of those companies have been punished because of it. A lot of those companies have been punished because of it. And I think those companies will continue to get punished. Clearly, TGOD is going to continue to get punished. Clearly, Zenabis is going to continue to get punished. I don't see how anybody is selling Zenabis at these prices. Who bought Zenabis at these prices? So who's selling? These are the questions that I have. Who's the ones that are selling at these prices? Sonny Robinson says, what do you think about Shopify? Let's take a look at labs. And you guys can go to www.richtvlive.com and you can do searches for all the stocks in the cannabis sector. We also have all the cryptocurrencies that you can look at. Yeah, labs is up a little bit. Nothing huge. Nothing to get that excited about. Mr. Lou says, show me the revenue and I will show you love. Max Power says, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Lou says, True Leaf Cannabis Corp is up a little bit. Afri is up a little bit. Max Power says, Zena is getting smoked. Yeah, and I think Zena is going to keep getting smoked because they're not doing anything to build shareholder equity and shareholder value. And they've been nothing short of a nightmare and a disappointment. Max Power, Zena is a falling knife right now. I'd be very careful. At this point, it might go to 10 cents. It might go to 10 cents. It feels like 2017 all over again, that's for sure. Yeah, I like labs. I've talked to you guys about Labs a lot. Labs has been a good player for me this year. I've made a lot of trades on Labs, won every single one of them. And they were the last stock that I actually made money on, and I traded, got out, and ever since they've gone way down. So the key is just to find the bottom right now. Yeah, I have no idea how low Zenabis is going to go at this point. It just keeps going lower. So I ain't touching it until I see it hit the bottom, and maybe 10 cents, maybe a penny. Who knows at this point? It's turned into a penny stock, and clearly the management doesn't give a shit. They don't care. They want to just let it keep going lower. So let it keep going lower. I'm not going to touch it. I think Canopy Rivers has a future because they're protected by Canopy Growth. But I don't like what Canopy Growth did to Bruce Linton. So from that perspective, I'm a little bit concerned because it doesn't show any real loyalty. And Canopy Growth has struggled ever since they fired Bruce. But I'm assuming that Canopy Growth will turn it around at some point and become a huge giant like they should be, and probably run up to 50, 60 bucks in 2020. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Rivers also run up to at least $3, $4. Infinite Possibility says, do you think that Zenabis will turn into a dream? Well, so far it's been a nightmare, so it would be nice for it to turn into a dream. But so far it's been a nightmare. Sonny Robinson says, will Rivers turn into a penny stock? Well, it's at $2, right? So technically it is a penny stock. Max Power says, after FSD dropped all the way down to 7 cents from 94 cents, I don't trust anything under $1. And you're thinking the right way, Max. Now that Zenabis is at these levels, who knows how low they can go. The reality is I'm going to have to lower my cost. I have no choice. And the only way to do that is to buy it at the absolute bottom. And I'm not going to be rushing to buy at these prices. That's for sure. Especially when I see it going down every day. The question is, who's selling at these prices? People that bought at $1? People that I bought at $1.25? People bought at $1.50? Or is it insiders? That's the question. I really like to know who is selling at these prices. Yeah, Roku was actually upgraded today. Let's take a look at Roku. Well, bar chart has Roku as a 40% buy. With a weakening short-term outlook, Roku is up 8.43% at $117 right now. Wow. Roku hit a high of $175. Insane. Came back. Yeah, so Roku hit $176 on September 9th. It's down 34% since, because clearly guys were shorting it. It's come up from $26 last December, so it's up 340% in the last year. Up 20% in the last 3 months from the bottom of $96, and 18% in the last month. I think AUSA has a chance to be a good company, but like a lot of these companies under $1 is very dangerous. So be very careful. Yvonne Diesel says, Rich just sold Xena and Saniva. I am done with those companies. They don't deserve my money. Hey, man, you know what? I'm not surprised that you're selling. Clearly, people are selling for a loss. People are panicking and selling all over the place, and it's driving the prices down. And eventually, once everybody sells out, these stocks will hit their bottom, and that's when I'll be looking to buy. Terry says, how much more is Zena going to drop? Who knows? They clearly don't care. So if they don't care, they can keep dropping. If the company doesn't care about the share price, the stock is going to keep dropping. That's for sure. The only way a company can increase the share price is if they try to increase the share price. If a company doesn't do anything to increase the share price, the price is not going to go up. That's a fact. I've been in the markets long enough to know that if a company doesn't do anything to increase its share price isn't going to increase. Max Power says, I have 5,000 shares US and a biscuit at $1.72. Probably grab more to average down, but I'm going to wait until Trump puts more tariffs on China. Then you know the whole market's going to drop. Yeah, I mean, what's the rush to buy Zena now? I don't see any reason to rush to buy it. It just keeps going lower. I do not want to buy. I averaged down at 150 in July. Now we're in mid-October and it's at 70 cents. It's gone down another 50%. So I'm not going to rush to buy it. I'll wait until it hits the floor and then I'll buy it. Am I still bullish on MacArthur Minerals? I mean, they put out some big news saying that they're going to do all this business. Then they've just gone quiet ever since. I think at some point they'll do well, but right now they're really, really quiet. I still own shares in MacArthur Minerals, by the way. Infinite Possibility says this is what Rockefeller meant when he said people panic when blood is in the streets. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be panicking. I'm not selling anything, regardless of how low things go. I'm just going to buy more when they hit the bottom. Mark Pepper says Tilray should buy out Zenabis. Hey, man, at these prices, Zenabis is easily bought out by Tilray. Easily. Maybe it's in the works. Who knows? Pekka says dual listing is coming on MMS. That's a good sign for MMS. Sonny Robinson says, I love when blood is all over the streets. Jason Garza says, I have no reason to sell at this time. I'm only buying more for the future. I refuse to sell in the red, especially because they're awesome companies. I just won't sell in the red because I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn like that. I have to lower my cost. Have to. I don't feel like Zenabis is going to go out of business. So as long as I don't feel like they're going to go out of business, I'll just lower my cost and buy more cheap shares. But I'm not going to rush to buy them when I've seen them go from $1.50 to 70 cents. And I don't see anything turning around anytime soon. So I'm just going to wait and see how low I can get it. If I can get, I got 26,000 shares right now. If I can get another 26,000 shares at 50 cents, that's like 13 grand. Yeah, I'm prepared to do that. And then I'll have 50,000 shares. I'm okay with that. Joshua says GGB staying strong at $1.70. I like Green Growth Brands. I like the CEO, and the CEO is committed to growing that company, and I believe that they're going to be big. Sonny Robinson asks, is Afria buying CanTrust? I don't know. What would you buy CanTrust when nobody knows if they'll ever get their license back? I think I'd have to wait for them to get their license back. Brett Van Heerwiggy says, if ACB drops to low fives or higher fours, I'm all in. Hey, man, that's the way to go. I think I like the way you're thinking. Mark Pepper says, I'm stubborn as well, Rich. Yeah, man, I'll stick to my guns, man. I'm going to stick to my guns. But at the end of the day, what I'm not going to do is sit here and tout their horn and talk about how great they are when they've been a nightmare and a disaster. People need to know the truth. I refuse to lie to people. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. If Zenabis is a nightmare, I'm going to tell you they're a nightmare. If the stock sucks, I'm going to tell you they suck. If the company's doing good things, I'm going to tell you the company's doing good things. As far as the business is concerned, I love the business. That's why I own shares and why I'm going to continue to buy. As far as the stock is concerned, they absolutely suck. Something needs to happen. New management change, new CEO, new plan, something. Something needs to change because as far as I'm concerned right now, that management team sucks. Zenabis, if you're watching, your management team sucks. You've done nothing to protect your shareholders. You've done nothing to build equity. You've done nothing to build shareholder loyalty. All you've done is create a black eye for the entire sector and hurt your shareholders. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Your stock sucks. It absolutely sucks. I mean, there's a lot of companies that keep dropping. Tilt is another one whose stock sucks. The management sucks, and they have no plan to build shareholder equity and no plan to build shareholder loyalty. They've just cratered that stock to nothing, similar to Zenabis. Infinite Possibility says, I don't think there's a chance CanTrust will get their license back. You don't think they'll go up more than me. But at the end of the day, if a company sucks, I'm going to have to let you know. If a company sucks, I'm going to let you know. If a company's failing, I'm going to let you know. People deserve to know the truth. Shane MJ says, huge. FSD Pharma sucks too. Yeah, they do, but I think they might have found a bottom. I really am starting to feel like FSD Pharma might have just found a bottom at 7.5 cents. We'll see. They're lower. They're kind of the lowest I've ever seen them. Similar to Zenabis. Zenabis is the lowest I've ever seen them, but I've been saying that for the last 7 months. So who knows at this point? I'm not rushing to buy anything. I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm watching the show and I'm waiting for bottoms. And I've got another 100 grand I'm preparing to get in at the bottom, but I really want these 8 before I lower my costs in anything. I really want these 8. I already own Aurora, but I'm going to get more. Aurora, Afria, Green Thumb. I've owned Labs in the past, but I'm going to be buying it again. Labs, CGC is getting to a point where I'm thinking I want to buy it soon. Valens Growworks, Trulieve, Cura. I like all 8. I'm not going to rush to buy them today. I'm going to be watching. But if I see those 8 hit 52-week lows, which some of them are at 52-week lows, I'll be looking to buy. Tyler says, at these prices, don't be caught on the sidelines when the rally hits. Big news will create a massive short squeeze. I think we've been waiting for that for 7 months. Tyler says, just make sure you're in a good company with a strong strategy. I agree. And a company that actually cares about their shareholders in building shareholder equity and building shareholder value. If they don't build shareholder equity and they don't build shareholder value, then you have no chance of making money. I think some companies do care about shareholders. I think that Bruce Linton cared about his shareholders in Cannabis Growth, and he made a lot of shareholders very wealthy. But I think Bruce Linton is few and far between, and that's why it's such a shame that he was terminated, because he was like one of the feel-good stories for the sector. And ever since they fired him, it's just been just a nightmare, to be quite honest with you. Jeremy Cox says, I am liking Namaste's hibernation. They've been stable as of late. I like Namaste. I like Canmart. I like Pineapple Express. I like their businesses. But once again, another stock that has done terribly and has not done anything for their shareholders, and another stock that has a lot of work to do, and another company that needs to become more revenue profitable. Their revenue really hasn't grown. The Yosh says, an article on Xena CEO in May said Andrew Grieve took the top job at the newly minted Vancouver-based licensed producer in January. He's foregoing an annual salary and bonuses continued. In lieu of 750,000 options exercisable at current market price, vesting over 3 years, and payments tied to the stock's performance that he won't be eligible to receive until June 2021. Well, based on the performance, I don't see how he ever makes any money on this stock. Shane MJ says, Rich, what do you think about CNVC, Canna, VCell? Just heard about it. Yeah, I've been hearing about them for a while. They've not really done anything. I want to see revenues. I'm tired of investing in speculation. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm more focused right now in bringing you guys the best. I'm going to stay away from everything else. I want to educate you guys about different companies, but I'm going to be very, very careful about the companies I bring you guys because I'm just tired of watching companies like Zenabis fall, Tilt fall, MedMan fall. There's been too many. And, FSD Pharma, there's been too many of those. And I feel like as an influencer in the cannabis sector for over 2.5 years, I did a really good job in the beginning bringing you guys the best. Now, over the last 2.5 years, there's like 400 companies. I've tried to show you all of them. I want to really focus now on bringing you the best, educating you on different types of companies that exist, but really focused on talking about buying the best and doing that myself. And I'm still early in this game. I still have lots of resources to buy more, which I'm going to continue to do. But I'm really focused on these 8: Aurora, Afria, Canopy Growth, Labs, Valens Growworks, TrueLeaf, Cura, and Green Thumb. I like a bunch of others, like Tilray, like C-Web. I like a lot of others, but I want to see them come lower. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate you, man. I'll keep my nose up, man. I'm not going anywhere. Do I still have faith in Belgrave? Well, I'm an owner and believe. It's become a penny stock. Maybe you can make some money trading that penny stock. I don't really know. Tyler Trudeau says Bruce got too cocky, was spending too willy-nilly. Bringing in a pro will help in the long run. Rich really just wanted to hear you say willy-nilly. Quinton Simmons says, waiting on Planet 13. Phase 2 in a few days. I really like Planet 13. Mr. Lou 1990 says, it's not your fault, Rich. Well, I know it's not my fault. I don't own any of these companies. I'm just a shareholder just like you guys. Mr. Lou says, you're not a financial advisor. If people lose money based on picks you provided, it's okay. Well, not really, because I've provided a lot of picks that have done really, really well. I just want to stay in my lane and not really focus on picks that are going down every day. Peter Morley says, I heard a rumor that Canopy Growth is naming a new CEO soon. Yeah, I think they need to do that really soon and get something going fast. Jason Garza says, stay in your lane, everyone. Tyler Trudeau says, Rich, what are your thoughts on Mexico legalizing, possibly coming this month? Population of 130 million people. I think it's great news. I think it's a great market. And I think it's going to be a great catalyst for the market. There's a lot of great catalysts that keep happening for the market, but yet the market keeps going down. At some point, it's going to turn around. The question is when. That's the $1 million question right now. Max Power says, you've done an amazing job, bro. There's no one out there like you. You pick something great, and it's not your fault. It's the sector, like you say, 400. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. I just, I feel like we need to really focus on the best. They're blessed. And it's funny, if I go back to 2017, my first 5 picks, Aurora Cannabis, up. Canopy Growth, up. Afria, up. Organigram, up. Chronos Group, up. If I just stick to those 5 and only bought those 5 and never bought anything else, my goodness. So what do I learn from that? That I should just stick with the best. This is a learning experience. I'm learning just like you guys. I'm in the trenches like you guys. I take risks like you guys. And what I'm learning is I need to eliminate the risk out of my investing portfolio. I've already got 20 companies. All of them are risky at this point, the way I look at it. Now I want to start really positioning myself in the best and keep accumulating. My goal is eventually to own 100 of the top cannabis companies in the world. I want to own them. So, and have my own fund. So, owning these stocks is part of the plan. Now I want to really, really focus on the best. Once again, I really like these 8. I'm going to say it again. Aurora, Afria, Canopy Growth, MetaPharm Labs, Fallon's Growworks, TrueLeaf, Cura, Green Thumb. All 8 have revenue. All 8 are growing. Some of them are profitable. And I feel like all 8 are going to only get bigger in 2020. It doesn't mean that they can't go down. They could go down. Remember, everything I talk about can go down. I do not control the markets. I'm strictly an investor just like you guys. But I also think that the upside for all 8 is phenomenal. Max Power says, I like fire, but they're the same thing. Always a falling knife. I agree with you. Fire is a great business. The stock sucks. Sonny Robinson says, your best kept secret. Everyone got one, Rich. My best kept secret? I own Hexo. I love Hexo. My best kept secret. My best kept secret. That's a good question. My best kept secret. Well, one of the best kept secrets that I've been talking to my community about is Imagination Park. It's not a cannabis company. Its symbol is IP. And I remember when it was going down and I started talking to our investors in our community about, I was looking for another ZMA. And ZMA had made a move and we made money on it. And I was looking for the next ZMA. And Imagination Park came up. And I told our entire community that I think it could be a ZMA. I think it has the potential as a penny stock to really be something interesting. And since then, it's gone up and it went from 2 cents to 5 cents. Now, I'm not suggesting you buy it at 5 cents, but if you can get it at 2 cents, I think Imagination Park could be one that long-term does well. It's in the virtual reality space, and I think it has a lot of potential, and I really like virtual reality. Jason Garza says, I took your advice a long time ago and stay away from penny lottery tickets. Thank you, Rich. Man, I've been in this market for a long time and I've made money in penny stocks. I've lost money in penny stocks. I've made money in cannabis stocks. I'm down on some cannabis stocks. But overall this year, I'm up tremendously in the stock market because I'm not only buying cannabis stocks. My investment strategy is diversified. I invest in a lot of different stocks all the time, not just cannabis stocks. I invest in the cannabis stocks more than anything for the show. I believe in the industry and the sector long term, and that's why I invest in this sector. Do I sometimes bleed? Do I sometimes get hurt? Do I sometimes find myself on the wrong side of these stocks? Yes. But I think long term, I really like the sector and I want to be a part of it. So I'm willing to take that risk. That's why I tell you guys, don't buy everything I talk about. Don't buy everything I buy because I'm here for the game. I'm here to be a part of this cannabis sector. Buying stocks is part of this game. Some of them are going to go up and some are going to go down. I look at myself like I'm building a fund and I'm learning every single day. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better over the last 2.5 years at learning about these companies, evaluating these companies, and identifying these companies. I've been wrong on some. I've been right on a lot. That's part of learning. That's part of getting involved in a newly legalized sector that doesn't have a huge history. There's one company that's become a $1 billion company in this sector, and that's Scott's Miracle-Gro. They've got $3 billion in revenue. They're $100 stock. $372 million in net income. They are the example that everybody else is trying to emulate. The reason I got into Zenabis was I saw a potential of $1 billion company in the future. I didn't foresee this meteoric loss in the market. Had I foresaw them going down from 680 to 70 cents, I would have never bought the stock. I would have never talked about it. I would have never brought it to our community. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. Hopefully you don't make some of the same mistakes I make. And hopefully as a community, we can learn from each other and make 2020 a bigger and better year than 2019 so far. Even though I'm up a lot in 2019, over the last few months, I put in 120 grand into just cannabis stocks, and those cannabis stocks have not performed well. They haven't. Those stocks include Zenabis, Saniva, Aurora, Hexo, and Rivers. I still like all 5 companies. I still think all 5 companies are going to do very well. I totally plan on buying more of all 5 companies and lowering my cost. But what I'm not going to be doing over the next few months is sitting here and telling you how great a company is if it's going down every day. I just can't do that. Sonny Robinson says, Rich, I opened my own business to your stock picks. Thanks, Rich. Tilray. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Sonny. Terry says, Rich, what do you think of Can America? Their shares went from 130 to 5 cents. Yeah, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Sonny Robinson says, Warren Buffett says, buy big when there's blood in the streets. All you need is one. It's true. It's true. Jason Garza says, I'm definitely down big, but I'm patient, here to win. Von Dale Wright says, what do you think about options, Rich? Well, options is one of those things that I've been doing quietly on the sidelines for the last 6 months with phenomenal results. I am launching a academy for options trading and futures trading. I've been working on it behind the scenes for months. Stay tuned. When I launch the options trading academy and the futures trading academy, you will be able to learn how to make money on the way down and the way up. Stay tuned. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to give it all away. I'm looking for people to join the academy and be a part of our team. Then we will talk about it all day long. Until then, I don't really want to say much. I want to just focus on what we're focusing on. All I can tell you is we will be launching our options trading academy soon, and it will be with a Wall Street options trader who has been hugely successful and works with all the top and greatest options traders in the world. The Amazing Life of Dixie, the Border Collie, says Mexico needs that. Mr. Jordan says, I like cannabis at these prices. I'm glad I wasn't in deep before this massive dip. Once I sell off all my uranium, I should be in a good position with cannabis, just holding a few shares, plus a lot of 2022 calls. Dixie Norma says, shut down these vape shops and we will all win in the cannabis stocks. Yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of these companies are in the vape sector, so I'm not sure how that's going to be. Scott Norris says, if I have to wait 5 years for Zena, I will. I read a scary article, though, on XCO selling off the 19th of every month, 23 million shares. Makes you wonder if other insiders will sell. I think other insiders are selling because who else is selling at 70 cents? Who? Who is selling all these shares? It's lower than it's ever been. I didn't buy shares at these prices. You didn't buy shares at these prices. So who's selling? Somebody's selling. That's a concern to me. The Amazing Life of Dixie the Border Collie says, I have my own fund, but it is diversified. That's smart. That's the way to trade. Diversify, 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 diversify. The Amazing Life of Dixie the Border Collie says, I did pull out of MJ, but I missed it, so I bought more. He says, if you are long, what is happening right now does not matter. Well, I think it always matters as an investor. You always want to keep your eye on your investments. You want to see how they're doing. You want to see how they're performing. You want to continue to analyze them, evaluate them, watch them, read their news. I do with all my stocks. And like I said, there's a lot of downward pressure. It's not just Zenabis. It's not just Zeneva. It's not just Tilt. It's not just 48 North. There's lots of companies that are going down. But if you look at the ones that are the bigger and the better companies that I've been focused on, they are holding their prices better than the others. Friedrich says, what's up, Richie Rich? Oh, some cannabis stocks are up, but overall, some cannabis stocks are also still down and have been for the last 7 months. Airbnb is going to IPO. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting IPO. I don't know how they're going to do. It'll be interesting to watch. Peter says VFF is falling quickly. VFF is another company that really got pumped hard. It went really, really high up, and now it's going back to reality because they just don't have the revenue to justify their price. The Amazing Life of Dixie says, I diversify too. It is stupid to not diversify. I think all investors need to diversify their portfolios. Mr. Liu says, bought weed when it was CGC. Mr. Liu says, don't look back, Rich. Just learn from your mistakes and keep it moving. I never look back. I just keep looking, I learn from my mistakes and I'm always looking towards the future. Always. The Amazing Life of Dixie says, right, I have MJ, AR, VR, crypto. Nice. And drones. I love drones. Mr. Liu says, I've lost a few thousand. Sonny Robinson says, I'm not sure about this Trump impeachment. That might hurt the stock market. I can't see how Trump getting impeached is going to help the stock market. I think it's crazy. Dixie Norma says, if you had one advice tip, what would it be? Invest in the best because the best is blessed. Absolutely invest in the best. If you believe Aurora is the best, buy Aurora. If you believe Afria is the best, buy Afria. If you believe Trulieve is the best, buy Trulieve. The Amazing Life of Dixie says, Trump impeachment is a coup attempt and it won't happen. Tyler says, Rich, do you think that the TSX might change their ruling on allowing Canadian LPs to operate in the States, especially since Trump says it's up to each state to do what they want? I don't know. It's a good question. TSX here in Canada, we're very conservative. Terry says, hey, I don't want to make money. I just want my money back in MJ sector and done with it. No, I want to make money. I invested to make money and I will make money. And I didn't get in this to lose money. I got into this to make money. So if some of my investments are temporarily down, I'm just going to have to wait. The Amazing Life of Dixie says, you will hopefully get it back, Terry. They are new and the cost of doing business is high when you have a new business and industry. It's a good point. It's a very good point. Thank you guys for the 71 likes. We've been live for an hour and 50 minutes. Been talking about the cannabis sector. Let's take a look at where we're at right now. Let's take a look at cryptos first. Oh, Bitcoin's up 4% today. They're at 8,593. Ethereum is up 6.8% at 192. Ripple is at 28 cents, up 1.9%. Bitcoin Cash up 3% at $238. Tether up slightly at $1. Litecoin at $59, up 4%. EOS at $3.24, up 2.5%. Binance Coin at $17, up 8.6%. The top 8 cryptocurrencies are all green. That's very good to see cryptos in the green. You can find all of that at richtvlive.com. And if we go to richtvlive.com and look at the Canadian Pot Index, we're green in Canada. We're still green in Canada today, which is good. Wow, Green Organic Dutchman is down 19%. So Isodiol up 23%, Believe up 16%, Agriflora up 13%, Saniva up 8.5%, the Tinley Beverage Company up 5%, Delta 9 Cannabis up 5%, Heritage Cannabis Holdings up 4%, Choom up 3.7%, Lyft & Co. up 3.3%, and Bevo up 2%. Canopy Growth is down slightly, Aurora is down slightly, Kronos Group is up slightly, Tilray is down slightly, Afria is up slightly, Hexo is up slightly, Organigram is down slightly, Oxley is down slightly, Green Organic Dutchman is at $1.40, down 19%, Valens Growworks at $3.11, up 1.6%, Supreme Cannabis is even, Canopy Rivers at $1.98, up slightly, TerraSend down 3% at $4.72, the Flower Corporation at $2.24, up slightly, Elite Health at 85 cents, up slightly, CanTrust at $1.39, up slightly, Emerald Health Therapeutics down slightly at $1.26, WeedMD at $1.33, up slightly, and Namaste down 2% at 44 cents. Let's take a look at US. Overall, the US is pretty much even. Let's take a look at the gainers. Vitality Biopharma up 36%. BAM, Body and Mind Inc. up 11%. Earth Science Technologies up 7%. Kaya Holdings, K's up 7.5%. M Jardine up 5%. CBD Unlimited up 4.6%. Green Growth Brands up 3.2%. CV Sciences up 2.8%. Medical Marijuana Inc. up 2.5%, and CWeb up 2.5%. GW Pharma down 3.5%. Curaleaf Holdings down 2.9%. Green Thumb is down 1.7%. Harvest Health and Recreation is down slightly. Cresco Labs is up 1.2%. Acreage Holdings is down slightly. TrueLeaf is down slightly. Canna Royalties up 1.7%. Planet 13 is down slightly. MedMan is down 5%. Ianthus is even. Alexinol Global down 2%. MaryMed up 1.7%. Kushco Holdings is even at 167. I think that's so cheap. Grow Generation Corp at $3.81, down 2.3%. Liberty Health Sciences down 4.75% at 29 cents. And Body and Mind Inc. at 89 cents in America, up 11%. You think that cannabis will be the cancer cure? It's very likely. Ed Hedges says, Bev is my favorite and always green. Yeah, I like Bev Canna. I was one of the ones that brought it to you first. Tyler Trudeau says, I believe the bottom has been found. We are finding support at these levels. I would hope so. We are at 52-week lows for the whole sector. Definitely pump and dump suck. GNLN is a huge company for accessories and cannabis. They're way down on vape news, but earnings have been big time, so I see them coming back big. I mean, it would be nice. They are definitely getting slaughtered, so be careful with them. Okay, guys, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the cannabis sector so far in 2019, a year in review. January, February, March was a dream. Ever since, it's been a nightmare. We've identified and talked about in length many stocks that are down. If you're not winning, you're not watching. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. We bring you winners and we bring them to you first. Once again, my grade 8 in the cannabis sector for 2019 and 2020. Companies that I think are going to be huge that I will personally be buying in 2019, 2020. Aurora Cannabis, Afria, Canopy Growth, Labs, Balance Grow Works, TrueLeaf, Cureleaf, and GTII. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great day. This is your boy from Rich. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. If you haven't smashed that like button, smash it. Comment down below. Share the video everywhere. And remember, if I win and you win, we all win. It's true. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. Have a great day, everybody. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for smashing that like button. It means a lot. I'm out. Be careful. Be careful.